Hi, folks. You were Tacit, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about how advertising for advanced education, university, college education, or even trades to some extent, and advertising for career vocations and career choices, job choices, that sort of thing, how they've subtly changed this over the last probably not quite a year. I guess I have seen it on and off in different areas, but not anything sustained like I'm seeing recently. And I'd be interested in seeing your comments below. Maybe I'm over assessing this or possibly under assessing it, I guess. But the type of advertising is, it doesn't attempt to sell the merits of the education itself. You get an advanced education, get a better education, get post grad, like get a master's, get a PhD, and this is why PhDs make more than other people. There's no attempt to sell the merits of the thing. The only thing they're selling to, and they're really targeting minorities, black people, brown people, women, lesbians. They're particularly targeting those groups. And the attraction, what they're selling is, hey, you get this degree, or you take this job, or you get this qualification, and guess what? You can boss white people around. And there's the image of the young brown woman in the room with white people, effectively bowing at her feet and begging forgiveness and approval and this sort of thing. You're going to be one tough brown chick, and those white people are all going to be, you're going to boss them around. And those fucking fascist, white fucking colonial Nazis, if they give you any back chat or anything like that, you're the boss. You put them in their fucking place. Those fucking Hitlers. And this is the power over white people. You will have power over white people. You will be in control. You'll be the boss. You'll be the great goddess, putting those motherfucker white folks in their place. Now, I'm sort of hyping and juicing that up a little bit, but there is always a brown woman in a position of power, and white people sitting down there. She's standing up and pontificating, whatever. There's not necessarily sound. I mean, there's nice music in the background, but she's down. The white people are nodding in awe at her greatness. Now, that's not how it is in the real world. You can only get that sort of forced outcome in, an affirmative action hellscape. But nonetheless, this is the adverts that I'm seeing. That's heavily targeting women. You don't see that with adverts targeting brown men or black men, for example, where there's lots of white women in the room while the black guy puts them in their place. You don't see that. It's the brown woman putting white male, maybe there's an odd one or two white females, but it's the brown woman putting those white people in their place. She's the boss. She's a genius. She's in control, and the white people know it. The white people know their inferior place, and they accept her brilliance, and so on and so forth. So they're selling this mythical sort of thing. I guess any sort of low IQ brown woman sort of dreams of, I'm going to tell white people what to do. Ooh. And it's certainly a thing for, say, Indians coming from the subcontinent. They absolutely ejaculate over the idea of, we're going to be in charge of white people and telling them what to do. They totally gag on it. But anyway, that's the adverts. Now, even universities that you'd say would be Christian universities that have, so they claim, very much a Christian ethic. I mean, they're still economic business enterprises, and even they are pursuing recklessly, in my view, pursuing the brown female fee-paying student, and they're using the same thing. You will be in charge of white people. Why are you getting a further education? Is it to be more expert in your field? Is it to increase your career choice? No. The draw card here is that you'll be in charge of white people. And white people have to accept your greatness, and they will bow before you. And which is part of, I mean, particularly if you're, in the Brahmin or upper class Indians and Pakistanis, this is, you believe already that you're at the apex of the universe, and and the white, middle class and working class people are inferior to you morally and spiritually. This is only a natural extension. This will just legitimize your control over them. And what better to tell your buddies back in India that hey, guess what? I've got a managerial job in Australia, and I've got 50 white people and I'm the boss of all of them. Well, you're the boss of 50 white people. Yeah. You mean white men as well? Yeah. I'm the fucking boss. And those damn Nazis. And so they're appealing to racist sentiments, not and it's not that subtle. So now, would this sort of advertising or approach to business be acceptable under any other circumstances? Remember, these are adverts in a white country. These aren't adverts in the black country or the brown country. These are adverts in the white country telling brown people from outside the white country that you come here to the white country, we'll give you an affirmative action degree, and then you can boss around all the white people that are here, all the locals, who we've sort of earmarked for eradication anyway. So like, who cares? But that's it. Now, another advert, and I saw this advert or variation of it some years ago, or two adverts. One was where they were trying to get more women to take jobs in the rural mining setting, and just to sort of give you an idea, when mines are being constructed in the rural areas of Australia, and it's a lot of them now, they're typically hundreds of miles from the nearest major population or even medium-sized population centre. So you can be a 2 or 3 hour plane ride away from a city, for example. So that's how far out in the middle of nowhere these are. And I've been to some of these places, and they're usually on very flat land. As far as you can see, there's just brown, red dirt scrubland for right to the horizon. And they've got the most incredible dust storms and things like that. But anyway, these mining places, they have they've got trouble getting workers out there as it is. You have long shift, you have 12, 13-hour shifts, and you can have 15, 16, 17 days straight before you get a break. So, it's a hard grind going 15 days, 16 days, 12-hour days straight. There's no day off or time off here. It's 16 days or 12 hours a day straight. Now, the pay is, pretty good. But that's a long slog, and given that one of your days off is a travelling day, and you got a 5 day, really you only get four days off out of 21. So there are different rosters, but that's so they got trouble getting people out there. Women in particular just don't want to go and work those sort of hours and do that sort of work. So they make an effort to make it attractive, not on the basis of look how good the pay is. You'll acquire these skills. These skills are transportable into other, it'll enhance your employment prospects. No. They make no attempt. When they're dealing with men, they do try to sell it that way. When they're dealing with minorities, they don't. And this is the bit that sticks in my craw, is that they approach it from a very emotional and a social, radical Marxist social justice point of view. So they're going. This particular advert was pitching very much at lesbian women. These very butchy women were featured in the advert, and in every case, what they were selling was not education, not career, not vocation. I think that if you accept these jobs and go out to the mine, then you will be able to tell all these straight white males what to do. You'll be the boss of all these straight white males. You'll be able to personally lead a social revolution and put those damn fucking Nazis in their fucking place, because you'll be the fucking boss. These straight white men are going to do what you say. You're the fucking boss. And that was the whole direction of the advert, which again was I think outrageous and if not unthinkable. You're turning these people into radical activists, assuming they even get the job or take the job. You're turning them to radical activists before they even set foot in the place. Now that's hardly a good way to be. Why would you encourage that sort of thing? So and then there was another advert I saw, which was not so much pitching at the lesbians necessarily, but if you're a strong, assertive woman, and really society has kept you down, the only reason you're not president of the international bank is because of fucking misogyny that's put on you by those fucking Nazis, those straight white fucking Nazis. So you need to go out. We'll give you a managerial job on some mine site in the middle of nowhere, and then you'll be able to get your revenge on those straight white male Nazis, because you'll be the boss. This time you'll be the boss, and they'll be the underlings, and you'll be in charge, and you can stick it up them. And again, that's how the thing is sold. Now, people have to sign off on that and agree to. All the people that would have signed off, and every one of them would have been a straight white male. So that gives you, I think, some indication as to how the elites think, well, this is not going to affect me. It's only going to affect the hoi polloi white people. So why should I give a fuck? Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get a few lesbians out. We won't have to pay them as much as other people. So there's all sorts of machinations in background. But again, it's something that straight white males are doing to the rest of the society and to other straight white males. I find that sort of remarkable. But it's the attempt. But when they want to get straight white males out there, they don't say, hey, guess what? Straight white males, you can come and get a job out here, or you can get the university degree, and just think of all the the hot chicks you can fuck. They'll just all be there at your disposal. Just think of the other men, the men who used to bully you in the school playground. Now you'll be able to bully them back in other ways. Yeah. There's no attempt at that. The pitch is very much, hey, you'll get educated to a higher level here, and you'll be able to you'll have access to better jobs and higher pay and better career prospects, or going out to the mines. Look, it pays well. It gives you some good continuity of employment here. The skills and experience that you pick up here will then are transportable to other mines and other civil engineering or whatever projects. And it's there isn't that attempt to sell it, or there is, rather. That's how they sell it, but there's no attempt to sell it that way to the minorities. I mean, why not? Are the minorities that different and pathetic and low IQ that you can only get to them by saying, hey, guess what? You can push straight white males around. Hey, guess what? You can push white people around. There's this sort of stuff. This is outrageous in my view, and shouldn't be allowed, because it inculcates an attitude of racial division and hostility. The reason you're going to get an education or take this job is to get revenge against white people. I mean, excuse me. I mean, what the fuck are they doing? To me, this is out. And again, this is even happening with Christian groups that that would claim to be opposed to all that sort of stuff. But look, I saw I mentioned this in previous videos. I saw I don't take the trains that often or public transport, but I was stopped at a station which was like a major train interchange. So it's where the trains terminate. They turned around, and so at the interchanges they get cleaned. So there's a cleaning crew descended on the train, and it was made up of nearly all white males. Some of them looked retarded, actually, so I don't know whether it was a job specifically for and some of them seemed very old. Some of them seemed so decrepit that they could barely move around. So we're talking, men in ordinary health that look like they're in their late 60s or even 70s, and again in quite poor health, or so it seemed. But their boss was this brutish, and I mean brutish, Asian woman, and who was more like a concentration camp commandant, the way she behaved. But there wasn't one Asian in the group. It was the Asian chick in charge of all these nearly all white males, and she was ordering them around, and the guttural sort of voice, the screaming of the orders. If a question was asked, it was, instead of treating it as a question, okay, let me help you with that. Instead of that, she was viewing it as, it was like a simple question was not only a question, wasn't a question, it was a direct challenge to her authority, and she had to put it down and crush it immediately. And I looked at it. You wouldn't put her in charge of anything. I mean, and this would have been a public service job. How the fuck would you put someone like that in charge of a thing? But she was clearly really getting off on the idea of ordering about these straight white males and screaming at them, shouting at them, castigating them, denouncing them. And I was looking at this aghast. I mean, my jaw was bouncing off the train platform with shock at that this sort of thing is happening and is being allowed and tolerated. Nobody, there was no supervisor over supervising her, saying, hey, you don't treat anyone that way, be they straight white males or anyone else. And you talk to people like that again, you'll be looking for another job. There was none of that. There was no oversight. And the people that were there were clearly quite scared of her, that they were going to, in some way, trespass upon her greatness or something like that. So they these old men, again, in white men in very ordinary health, from what I could see, were scurrying around terrified of her as she screamed and shouted at them. That's to me what these adverts are advertising. They're saying, well, hey, look, you can be. And I wonder, is this part of the globalist thing? Is it that the final humiliation of white people in their own countries? I think it might very well be. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.